It's better to be someone's shot of vodka than everyone's cup of tea. Kate McKibbin. Today, I'm sharing with you a throwback episode from the early days, and you don't want to miss this one because it is an essential part to starting, maintaining, and growing your business, and it needs to be reevaluated from time to time as well. You have the power to be the boss of your own life. I'm your host, Monica Allen. I'm a wife, mom, entrepreneur, best-selling author, lifelong learner, and your biz bestie. I have a love and passion for all things small business. Growing my own company from $700 to over 7 figures annually, my goal is to bring you inspiration, business-focused topics and tips, encouragement, and a community that helps you launch, grow, and scale your business, whether you are a dreamer, a side hustler, or a seasoned entrepreneur. You are listening to the Become Your Own Boss podcast. This episode is brought to you by Zeus's Closet. Do you and your team wear clothes with your company's logo on them? Do you give your clients or customers promotional products to help them remember you and your company? At Zeus's Closet, we are like a tattoo shop for your clothes. We help many companies provide their entire team with branded apparel for themselves and promotional products to leave with clients and customers. Wearing branded apparel help colleagues feel like part of a team and make your company look more professional. Right now, you can save 15% on our Solopreneur package, which includes 3 polo shirts and 2 button-down shirts with your company logo simply by using the promo code BOSS. That's BOSS, B-O-S-S, at checkout. You can order a package for each team member so everyone has a shirt for each day of the week. See the link in the show notes to access the discount. I was inspired by another podcast I was listening to and an article that I read a few weeks back. It made me think about the importance of this very first business basic, which is know your demographic. Knowing your demographic is important for any and every business. I recently read an article about Rachel Hollis's book, Girl, Wash Your Face. The article was quite a harsh critique of her work and her company. And though I have read the book and enjoyed it, I'm not here to promote her book or dissuade you from reading it. The article I read was from BuzzFeed News by Laura Turner, and a couple of the paragraphs in this particular article stated the following. Not everyone has enough money to let them take the kind of professional and financial risks that might lead to greater happiness, for example. Things like systemic racism can wear on a person to the point that it degrades her health. At the same time, it restricts her access to good health care, resulting in higher rates of chronic disease and shorter life expectancies for Black women than white women. Can you tell a woman who has lost her hoped-for child as a result of state officials turning a blind eye to a water poisoning crisis in a predominantly Black area, or a mother seeking asylum whose child has been taken away from her at the border, that you are ultimately responsible for who you become and how happy you are? You can, but you would be wrong and cruel. Hollis doesn't address the possibility that for some people, obstacles to happiness are outside of their control, and it is proof of her hard-earned privilege that she doesn't have to. This is just a brief excerpt from the article and just one of many paragraphs that talks about Rachel's privilege and the lack of her acknowledging people with less opportunities and people with tremendous hardships, people who may not be able to wash their face and overcome societal lies told to them. But you have to understand that these women, as described in the paragraphs I read, are not Rachel's demographic. It's not her company's demographic. It's not her book's demographic. These are not the women that her books and conferences are created for. She is not trying to reach mothers seeking asylum or Black women in poverty. And though I do think it is important for us all to fight for justice and work to better our communities and healthcare system, this is not Rachel's company's goal at this time. And though, yes, she may have lots of critics, the girl knows her demographic, and that is why she is successful. And that is what we're going to talk about today. You knowing the demographic of your customer and your market. So let's start with the basics. How do you define demographic? Well, demographic is a particular sector of a population. And some examples of demographics are age, gender, race, religion, marital status, number of children, occupation, annual income, education level, and geographic location. You've started a business or you want to start a business. You must take some time to ask yourself, what are the demographics of your customer? What makes up the person, or who is the person that is most likely to purchase your product or your service? What's their gender? What's their race? What's their age? What's their education level? You may not have to ask yourself all of the questions. Religion may not matter, but then again, it might. So you want to take a look at all of the demographic characteristics that could be a part of your typical customer, and you want to make sure that you know these things. Being able to answer these questions will let you know the size of your market, where to find your market, how to speak to your market. So you see, Rachel has this down. I have only listened to the one book, as I mentioned before, but if I had to put together a demographic analysis of her brand, I would say her market is primarily white females, aged 25 to 45, with a college degree or some college education. This is not to say that her message doesn't resonate with other races, genders, or age groups, but this is where the majority of her demographic resides. And she knows this. So she's very successful within that demographic or group of people. Let's take a look at our first business, for example. When we started StuffForGreeks.com, our demographic was at minimum in college or a college graduate. You have to be in college or you have to have graduated from college to be in a fraternity or sorority. We also knew they were going to be typically 20 and up. And we initially started out providing products and services for organizations that were predominantly for people of color, because that is what we were most knowledgeable about at the time. So initially making only custom crossing jackets, we felt our demographic as far as age fell somewhere around 20 to 35. These were typically people who were the most enthusiastic about getting this product, joining their fraternity or sorority, and purchasing that first crossing jacket with unique artwork. So we knew how to market to those people and how to reach those individuals. As Stuff for Greeks grew, we added more products outside of jackets. And knowing that in organizations geared primarily towards people of color, you are part of that organization for the rest of your life. So our age demographic grew as well. We reached somewhere between 60s, 70s, and up because you're in the organization until the day you die. In addition, as time went on and our business continued to grow, our demographics expanded in regards to race. We now serve almost every Greek organization. Parental status and religion was never something we really needed to determine for our demographic in our current business. Rachel Hollis knows she cannot be everyone's cup of tea. The quote I read at the top of the episode, "It is better to be someone's shot of vodka than everyone's cup of tea." This is simply the truth. You cannot serve everyone. Rachel knows that she cannot reach the poor single mother, no matter the race, and the middle class, married, with or without children, college graduate with the same message. It just does not work. Knowing your demographics is vital also because it helps you reach farther into your customer's psyche. For example, Rachel's brand is about vulnerability and self-improvement. She is speaking from her world, improvement of financial status, relationships, weight issues, motherhood, career. She is speaking to women like herself. For us, with our Greek marketplace, we know that we're working with customers who are very enthusiastic about their organization. They want to show people what organization they are a part of. They want to show people their story of becoming a member of that organization. And that is moving more into not only the demographic of the people we're working with, but also their psyche and what they are all about when it comes to that particular part of their life. So knowing your customer's demographic or determining the demographic of the people you're trying to reach is extremely, extremely important for the success of your business. And also knowing that over time, as your business grows, that demographic may change a bit. It may grow, it may shrink, but it is very vital for you as a new business owner or as someone wanting to start a business to know who your demographic is and know how to communicate with them and know that the market for what you're selling is large enough to sustain your business for the long haul. Thank you so much for listening today. As always, I'm so grateful for you. Please take a moment to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Become Your Own Boss Podcast. Take a moment to leave a review, subscribe to the podcast, and if you have just an extra couple of minutes, actually write a review for the podcast. That helps us grow and makes others interested. And if you subscribe, you'll get a notification whenever a new episode is posted. As always, I ask you to share the podcast with a friend. We are growing, guys, and that is so exciting. So please continue to share. Now is the time. Now is the time to level up, leave a legacy, and become your own boss.